Click record on your end, Kieran, as well for your sort of.
Thanks for the. I've now clicked record. This is the unlike the last two times where I forgot.
That's right. You always forget. I don't know how you bloody forget. But anyway, here's the theme tune, boys. Stop playing the fucking theme tune. Of course, stop playing the theme tune.
This is a very professional podcast. Hi, everyone in YouTube land.
Are we on YouTube?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube, buddy.
Oh, fuck yeah, bro.
It's kind of what we do now. It's just,
hey, Bridgette, if you're watching.
We're live on YouTube.
It's the only podcast in the world that is a complete shit show. I had to use a previous recorded show for the intro because I just lost the intro on my phone for my soundboard. I am Church. This is the We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only podcast in the world that is a complete shit show. With me today is always my co-host, the CEO of the podcast, and as you can tell, doing a fantastic job from high above in his ivory tower. It is Kieran. How you doing, buddy?
I was going to say we're about to rip on another podcast. We can't even get our shit together.
At least we're not getting paid. That's for our podcast. That's the difference, I think. And with us today is returning guest for the third time now. So absolutely returning guest. One of our favorite guests we've ever had on, and definitely Australia's best comedian. It's Dan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm definitely not Australia's best comedian.
Yes, you're not Australia's best comedian yet.
Yeah, give me like another 10 years and I'll be like the 80th best tennis player of comedy in Australia.
Do you know what I like about you though? You haven't sold out to the general comedians that sell out that do the gala, you know, and I
would love to do the gala, bro.
And their standard comedy.
You told me you got to suck someone's dick to do the gala right now, I would suck the dick twice. That's how I'm willing to sell out. Give me the opportunity and I will sell out. I'll sell everything.
Okay. Well, then I guess the gala gives you good exposure for your show. So, I mean, I get that. But you're holding firm. How do you get onto the gala? How come you haven't been on the gala yet?
So the gala's like so number one, you have to be like a festival guy. You have to do the festival I've never done the festival. But like when you've been doing comedy for a while, you're guaranteed like headliner-ish, like you've done all the main rooms, you've been around for a while, you know the people who run the TV gigs, and the festival like you and you represent what they want. They'll be like, do you want to do the gala? And you just do a 5-minute spot like what I'd do anywhere else, but you get to do it on TV. And it basically means that your festival show that year will sell out. So it's great.
I think don't do the festival. Just do YouTube. Just do YouTube, get known, tell the comedy people to go stuff themselves. Right, you're not sticking.
No. The ATC.
Hear me out. It takes a good 15 to 20 years for you to get onto the gala. And at that point, your comedy career is over. YouTube can now fast track you to fame. So do that. Do the Jim Jeffries thing where you have a show during the comedy festival and you tell them to go fuck themselves.
Yeah, bro. I'm on TikTok, bro. So we're doing it.
I was going to say, get on the TikTok.
I got a video. I got to post at 8:30. So if I quickly duck out,
that's all right.
I hear you, Kieran, bro. That's what I got to do. YouTube, man.
As you can tell, we're just as.
If you need a CEO that has maintained, how many episodes are we on now? 118, 19.
This is 120.
120th
episode, I think.
I'm your man.
Bro.
This will be 120.
Do you have TikTok?
Do we have TikTok, Church? I don't know.
Kieran should, because Kieran can floss.
I can.
Whip it out right now. Whip it out.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Kind of looks like... It looks like you're fucking your microphone for a second.
Yeah, it probably does.
That's why the pop filter's there, just to cover up the rest of the bush area.
The nut filter.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why his mic is white.
Oh yeah. Far out. But how is lockdown treating all? It sounds like all comedians, like I've seen, like in the comedy, like the Melbourne Comedy Group on Facebook and stuff like that, and a whole bunch of other comedians just seem to be doing a lot of internet stuff recently. Lots of
comedy is dead, bro. It's dried up all over the world. Like, I don't know if you guys know, like even in America, like all the comedians are moving to Texas. It's like this. It's a big thing. Like in Melbourne, no one's geeked. So like everyone I know is putting out content, and I'm doing TikToks. People are making videos. Everyone's got their own podcast. I want to start a podcast.
Good, so, you should. Yeah, man. It'll have to be better than ours, and probably better than the one that we're gonna listen to later on. Or review later
I honestly think that was the shittest podcast I've ever listened to, easily.
You don't listen to much podcasts then, because I actually went, wow, this is a pretty good podcast.
Yeah, I've only listened to like 5 podcasts. Never like consistently. So.
I'll give you a whole bunch of shit ones so you know exactly which ones to avoid. We've listened to a lot of shit ones on this show. It's fantastic. But nonetheless, we will get to that later on as part of our second episode of Wanktober, where we will review another Porn Stars podcast. And this all started, Dan, I don't know if you know how this started, but I listened to a podcast by a porn star named Siri. And we listened to her show called After Adult. And she found out that we reviewed it. And she listened to it and it called me misogynistic, sexist, and all I really complained about was that, one, they didn't use any compression on the vocals. 2, the episode was called Bisexuality, and for 30 minutes we heard her co-host talk about how her dad hit someone with his car out of a 45-minute episode. And then the last 5 minutes where they do talk about bisexuality, all you could hear in the background was a washing machine.
What the fuck? Hey, bro, exposure's exposure, man. Fuck Siri.
So we had a lot of fun. A lot of people got really angry at us, but that's okay. Because
did you get some new followers?
I think we did. I think we've grown. We've got a little bit of a fan base now on SoundCloud. That's always a little, us and the rappers, we're up there with insert rappers.
Chasing clout. That's so funny that she got caught at you. But like, I feel like, even the podcast that we're about to thingy, there's a part where she starts shit talking guys. And it makes let's get to it. Let's get to it
later on. That's all right. God. There's plenty to talk about with that. I think we might have to quickly go over the rant and some news. But I do have a rant for you boys, and I'm sure that you're probably going to feel this one. We're all in lockdown. It's week 3,292 at this stage. My beard is looking terrible. My hair is about 2 inches too long.
Well, Church, you say that, but I'm sorry to interrupt you. This is how bad lockdown has come.
Please, I know what this is about.
This is how bad lockdown has come. This is what I've had to do. I've got to do something very professional in about a month and a bit time, where I need to look at my best, and my hair was getting crazy, right? So this is what's happened.
Oh my god! You look like Johnny Sins.
He's ready for this show.
You got so prepared that you went to cosplay Johnny Sins.
Yeah. So it started
Kieran,
off as
you know who that is.
Yeah.
You know who that is, Kieran, for sure. Oh, yeah. Well, nonetheless, I've been watching a lot of Netflix, and I've got Prime now. And the show I've been watching
porn.
I've been listening to a lot of Porn Stars podcasts. I don't know if that's the same sort of vein. It's hard to wank to that because you just imagine them sitting in a room by themselves. But nonetheless, that's my fetish that I won't talk about on this show. That's definitely for another show. But I've been watching a lot of Amazon Prime. I've been watching a bit of Netflix. And I've been watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is an amazing show. And I'm actually up to the last episode of season 13, which is the final season on Amazon, but not the final season of the show that's out yet now. And
that is correct.
That's what I'm going to be ranting about and yelling about. That's what I'm angry about this week. Why do these streaming services take on shows and go, yes, we're going to get this show on. It's going to be available on our streaming service, and then just not have the complete series or the latest episodes of the show.
You've watched it too fast, Turch. You
No,
should
well,
be
I wanted
watching
to
it
catch
one
up.
episode a week. One episode a week, and you
episode a week.
wouldn't have this problem.
I completely disagree. I want to watch. If I want
You're
to
too
catch up and
selfish. You're too selfish, right?
I got nothing else to do. I finished work. What am I supposed to do? Just watch Sunny in Philadelphia, make more jokes, write fantastic.
Go back to the olden days. The olden days, we would have, had to get up out of our seats, turn the dial, and we would have to book in Always Sunny in Philadelphia for our 1 hour.
That's true.
Or
But
30 minutes a week.
Is the season 13 like on another platform, or is it just not for some reason on
No,
that?
it's just not on any platforms. I have Stan, I have Netflix, and I have Amazon Prime, which I only purchase one of them, and then the family members buy the family account. We just share accounts. So I'd only pay for one, but I have all of them. Like, I have Spotify.
Maybe
but
it's to like create demand because they know like people really want it, and they'll have to spend more to get it.
You say, okay, but I have this fascination with another show, and you're all going to laugh at me, but Kieran knows why I like this show. And have you ever watched the show, Dan, called Ancient Aliens?
I've heard of it. But I've not watched
it is the worst, best show on Netflix, right? They basically go, these are the pyramids, and they had built it, and this and that. These blocks are like, all these facts, like, this block is like 1,000 kilos, 1,000 kilos, and they would have mined it from 40 kilometers away, and they brought it here to build the pyramids. And you're like, oh, that's great. And then they go, but how did they do that? It must have been aliens, or they must have used alien technology to levitate the blocks to put them into place. Otherwise, how else would they done it? I mean, you can't count the 40,000 slaves that they had.
It's almost like they've got an intern to do the research, and it's like, that's good enough. Now we'll just fill in the gaps. Aliens. Must be aliens.
It must be aliens. Or these people mysteriously went away. When they came back, they had scars on their faces, but they were all fine, apparently.
There must be like a guy who's like Jewish who gets so upset at that shit. He's like, bro, come on, we're just hard workers. We just got good bones.
It's the black Israelites that probably get the most upset.
Yeah, bad. Like, bro, my great grandmother died on that rock, and you're gonna hear talk shit about
don't the black Israelites believe like aliens are a part of their culture though? I'm not quite sure. Really? I think so. I would love to talk to a black Israelite. That'd be great. That's the only religion I can really get on.
Sure, there's a podcast you can reach out to. Maybe that after the porn stars, you can rate Black Israelites podcast.
Just conspiracy theory podcast. That would be the way to go. Like people that believe in conspiracy theories, But okay, so that show has like 14 seasons, and I love watching that when I've had a few drinks, I'm a bit tipsy, watching it, or even just to fall asleep to, because it's so ridiculous. You're just laughing at it, and it's only got 2 seasons on Netflix, and it doesn't even have season 1. It starts in season 2, has just released season 3, and then has no other episodes. So I can't even get my Ancient Aliens fill of just ridiculousness. I have to buy DVDs. I don't even have a DVD player.
Yeah, it's almost like the people who made that documentary were unhinged.
It's great though. I'm going to say it's fantastic, terrible television when you just want something on.
Oh, it is there. It is the best. It is the best for I feel sorry for the uneducated people because they just believe it. Dan, you would love this shit because I was watching the episode recently and they're like, alien. Why did the big thing for me is like, why do aliens come to Earth and do all this shit like in the past and not come now? And apparently, the only reason aliens have ever come to Earth was to mine gold. Because they need gold for their atmosphere.
I mean, they could have asked us, and we would have given it to them.
Yeah, it's fine. We don't really need it. Like, it doesn't affect us in any way. But they're like, they're here to mine gold, and instead of, they've got millions of technologies like a spacecraft to come down to Earth, to fly to Earth, do all this sort of stuff. So what they're going to do is instead of just building robots and just sending them down, which they could probably do if they got intergalactic space travel, I'm just going to assume. No. They're going to hybrid breed. This is a real thing from the show. They're going to hybrid breed humans into worker slaves with half like mammal, half alien genetic combine, so they can mine gold for the aliens, and that's a real thing that they put together. Amazing.
They're more creative than I'll ever be to think of that shit, bro. But like,
my favorite was there's like this fucking wall. I can't remember what country, but there was like a little dint in it, and it was like, well, clearly, it's just fucking happened that way. But what could it be?
Yeah.
Is it a key? Is it a key? The aliens will come down with their magical key into this wall, and it will open up.
I would
I just
love
want to watch all of it.
famous smart person to just get behind this. Like, imagine if Neil deGrasse Tyson just dropped everything he did. He's like, no, it's real. Fuck it, it's real.
It's real, yeah. I want Trump. That would be funny if Trump came out. It's like, the aliens, they actually did it. They built it. They built the wall. We're going to use them to build the wall. We're going to use them. They did great. They did the pyramids. They're great.
You know, it's funny. My friend Alessia and me were talking on the phone today. If you go, I don't gamble or anything. If you go to Sportsbet, you can literally bet on if Trump is going to bring up Area 51 or aliens before the election. You can put money on that. There's like a bet. Because apparently, like, it's like a 30 to 1. And you can only put, like, that's not bad.
Yeah. $10. Why not?
I think he might bring it. I don't know anything about sporting bets or anything, but I think that sounds pretty sound.
You can even bet like what color tie they're going to wear.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
I love the guys that do the gambling stuff, because you just imagine like these. It's like, you know, the front is like, you know, super women and all these really buff guys like on those sports ads. Like, yeah, we bet on sports and we drink beers and that. And behind us, like 3 or 4 guys did like maths at university and a PhD in mathematics, and they're just creating formulas like, we can, if we do this is the odds for this.
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 guys behind it with a bunch of interns that just know statistics.
Yeah, bad.
It's a big Excel spreadsheet.
Oh, Church, can I bring in my article? This is just a good segue.
Just put Ancient Aliens. I want it all on Netflix. And the last season, the latest season of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, so I can watch that.
Actually,
what? Okay,
I don't know if this is a rant, but this is something that I've just thought about. Hamburgers. There's no ham in hamburgers, right?
Yes.
It's generally like
got bacon.
It's a beef patty. You know, when your default hamburger is a beef patty. So why is it called ham? Why is it a hamburger? Because there's no ham.
Well, that's like
comes from
Americans
Hamburg. A Hamburg, because it was invented in Germany. I think something like that.
That's right.
It's not because it's ham. It's because it's Hamburg.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's like in America they call. Yeah, that's good. It's true. I went to Hamburg and they had hamburgers. So, I mean,
yeah. Because originally,
I'm going to say it's true.
I think
I've got no idea.
Check here.
There was like a type of sandwich that came from Hamburg.
Yeah.
That got popular. So they were like, give me one of those hamburgers.
Well, we should just be calling it burgers.
Yeah, straight
rather than a hamburger.
Yeah.
That's like in America they call like chicken burgers. Like we have a chicken burger with the pickles and all that, like the fried chicken burger. They call them chicken sandwiches, and I'm like, that doesn't.
Yeah, that's
a sandwich has like the sandwich has like always feel like flat, like white bread, like, you know, sliced bread.
Yeah.
That's what a sandwich is.
And it feels
a burger
cold.
has like the bun.
The sandwich is like
it's
cold.
not raw.
The burger's like with gunk coming out of it.
Yeah. Sauce, like tomato sauce or mayonnaise, like, you know, or like a chipotle or something like that. A sandwich is just like, here's a sliced from the deli.
Yeah. You can't get a burger from 7-Eleven.
Sandwiches to me are when you go to the Lawn Bowls Club and they have the platter of sandwiches, you know?
Who the fuck goes to the Lawn Bowls Club?
Dad and I are like, we want a big greasy fuck off burger or a shit sandwich. Like, Lawn Bowls are my thing. It's an age gap. The age gap.
No, genuine. Now, hear me out. The Lawn Bowls Club has really cheap beer, right? And the spreads at the Lawn Bowls Club are bloody fantastic. You've got to get on it. If you're homeless or can't afford to eat, sign up to the Lawn Bowls Club, right?
Is it free?
Well, you've got to pay your yearly membership, but then you just turn up and eat and drink. It's great.
What? Once a week or twice a week or Saturdays and Sundays?
Twice a week. Yeah, yeah.
It's 5-day fasting. It's you wouldn't get real cut.
Maybe like first meal out of ISO will be lawn bowls and Whittlesey. Like that's a GF.
Oh, I'm feeling that. We go down. What's the Fitzroy Bowls Club there?
Fitzroy
And then
Bowls
just-
Club, maybe.
When you finished up there, or the Brunswick Bowls Club, when you finish up there, you just migrate onto Brunswick Street.
I'll put this for your Bucks Day, Church. Let me just add this to the Word document.
Put it down.
Lawn bowls. Let me just add that. Very good, Church. I've got an article.
You got an article. What do you got some news for us?
I've got some news, and I feel like this would be me if I worked in government.
Mm-hmm.
Excel spreadsheet error. Blamed for UK 16,000 missing coronavirus cases.
Yeah.
Now, someone is clearly... Dan, do you know how to use Excel?
I could probably figure it out because I used to be able to know, but not really.
Yeah, but you sort of... You open it up, you put some stuff in it, but you don't really know.
Oh, yeah.
You just... You know the very, very bare minimum.
Yeah, I know how to use it, but I just can't... You know when they type in like +24 and then a whole column? Like, I don't know that shit.
Yeah. You don't want to know anything complicated.
Yeah.
So I read this article and I just went, well, it sounds like the government in the UK is keeping track of all their coronavirus cases in Excel. Maybe that is an appropriate place to do it. Maybe it's not. But
Excel is not a database. Excel is not a database. Excel is for presenting data. It's not for use as a database. I work with Excel every fucking day, and people go, just use the Excel database. It's not a database.
Anyway, and then you'd get people like me who go, oh, I don't exactly know what I'm doing, but I'll just press, because now I'll just press that and this, and oh shit, I don't know what I've done. I'll walk away, get some lunch. I'll ring up Church. Church knows what he's doing. I can guarantee you that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, probably.
That's insane, though. Like, what? I didn't think that the government would be using... Like, what are they using? Like, fucking PowerPoint presentations on Tuesday and then Excel spreadsheets on... Like, this makes me feel... I
don't know why... Yeah, I work in government. Yes, that's absolutely the correct answer. We're absolutely just using Microsoft products for a whole bunch of things. We've got some software, but absolutely.
The UK government failed to add nearly 16,000 confirmed cases of coronaviruses to its national track and trace system due to an Excel error.
What about autosave?
It just sounds like they didn't add it. So that someone sent it I think Kieran, this is a version control problem.
The Excel spreadsheet used to track confirmed cases, so clearly using it as a database, reached its maximum file size and failed to update.
Fucking hell. What's the maximum file size for an Excel spreadsheet? I don't even know. I don't even think I've ever gotten to that big. That must be fucking enormous.
I don't know.
I've had like half a gigabyte Excel spreadsheets, I'm pretty sure, and it's been fine.
And it's just words, right? It's just like numbers.
Yeah. So it all depends on how many cells are filled out in Excel and the number of tabs and how many. It's usually the linking or the formulas that really screw it up because it can hold up a bunch of data, but you shouldn't use it for that. Like you meant to have like an Oracle database or an Access database, and then you just pull the data from that you need. But people don't use it like that because it's a cheap alternative that you shouldn't be using like that. But 16,000 that's a lot of information.
I have a lot of faith in our governments.
Yeah,
a lot of faith.
That's a shocker.
Look, it was only going to be 14 days to flatten the curve. And it's day 13. So I think we're in good stead to get out of this, back into reality, to be able to do gigs again, and pubs can go back to normal. You know how it is.
And when the time comes, Tuesday nights at the Wesleyan.
That's over, bro.
Okay.
You know what? I should contact them again because maybe they need money right now. So maybe they'll. But I don't know.
Hope so. There's so many places. I was saying to a whole bunch of people, they're like, things can start opening in November or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but they can only hold like 20 people. If you've got a venue and you've got to hire 5 people and then you can have 20 people in the place, you're not going to open. It's too expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And
pubs are
like
only
for
going to
me,
open.
someone like me in events, I don't want to start a room, sell tickets, not knowing if people are going to come and shit. It's like it's not really worth it. So it's going to take a while for it to.
You might as well wait until you can actually open. And pubs have been closed since what, April, March?
Yeah,
By the time they can open again, it's going to be in March. It's a whole year. So many places are going to go under, which is really sad because people are, 2 or 3 people own a bar together, and then they can't pay the rent, they can't pay the mortgage or whatever it is. That's it. They're like, well, we've got to sell up, or we've got to get rid of this or that. The bank can't help anymore because people have been on hold for so long, and suddenly you lose a small pub. And like I said to Kieran, the only place we're going to be able to go is the RSLs because of the pokies.
Yeah, or the Lawn Bowls Club. Apparently, that's
the
got
Lawn
really
Bowls
good-
yeah,
Club,
the Lawn
apparently.
Bowls. Hey, comedy at the Lawn Bowls. Let's bring back the Lawn Bowls.
That would be fantastic. Pensioners love a laugh.
I don't think the Lawn Bowls Club is going to survive after this. Do you know how many old people died from COVID?
Yeah, their target demographic is like
it's all downhill, mate. That's it.
Yeah.
And you can't eat sandwiches and play lawn bowls because then you got to wash the lawn bowls after every time. It's not like the bowling where they go through the machine and get all nice and clean. This is old people carrying things around, and they don't want to wear masks because it's not real for them.
Yeah, bad. Lawn Bowls is a time bomb ticking.
But
First,
you don't have to. They let them play their lawn bowls, and then they come into the room afterwards, right, for supper or dinner, and then bam, that's when we hit them. Open it up to everyone else, right?
They're already released the COVID.
they're already festive, and then we hit them with the comedy.
Dumb down.
Dan,
and then
as
if you
great
do
as this
really
idea
well,
is,
you kill.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right demographic for your type of comedy, though, Dan. I'm going to put it out there.
Man.
Like,
anyone here like Lebo?
He's a struggling comedian. He can't pick and choose. This is what we're offering, and so just work with it.
That's why he's on our show.
Yeah, because I'm doing podcasts on Tuesday, then Wednesday doing Lawn Bowls live stream events.
But the lawn bowls is at like 11 a.m. You've
Yeah.
got to get in it because they're going to finish up by after lunch.
Yeah, then 3 p.m. I'm doing bingo.
Oh, bingo would be a great gig though. It'd be a bit easier than the strippers like you used to work at.
You can get gigs doing bingo hosting. There's there's roles out there. And I'm also speed dating and shit. You could do all that, but I'd rather perform.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Well, we just hired the MC for our wedding, the celebrant MC for our wedding.
Oh fuck yeah!
And he's making pretty good money for the night. I'll tell you what.
How's that looking with COVID and stuff?
Well, our wedding's next year. So next year at the time we're recording this on YouTube, I would already be married. So very exciting. But yeah, like next year it's all good. But he's still sort of booked out a little bit. It sounds like every couple's like second or third week he's still got, because they still do like the ceremonies, but like only like a handful of people can be there and stuff like that. But hopefully next year 120 wogs and skips can get together in a room and pretend to like each other without fighting over.
I reckon it'll be right for next year,
money.
bro.
I hope so, man. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of not seeing my family.
I want to, because our audience is probably turned off now. Let me bring it back to let me bring it real. Oh fuck, where did I go? All right. This is bad because I know we're reviewing this podcast in a moment.
That's fine.
All right, done. Let me go over Church's Bucks. We had a Bucks brainstorming session. And I feel like...
I'm not going to listen because I'm going to get another beer.
I feel like I could add a few more things in here. Okay. In no particular order, this is what we've got. Strippers, topless waitresses, a minibus, a hotel, go-karts, axe throwing, brewery/scotch tasting, some kind of dinner, and church motorboating or hooker.
I mean, like... all good ideas, but the hotel is because you can just get really fucked up, and that'd be fun. But like the axe throwing, like what do you mean? Like
you throw axe, you get axes, and you throw
at like a target.
Yeah, like archery, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I think that if you're going to do a box, my logic would always be you're going to do something you can't do now that you're married. So I would definitely do some sort of drug-oriented hotel thing. But that's just me. I don't know that. What was the thing? The boat? Was it a boat?
Oh no, but I can add a boat. Number 10, boat.
You can do all the things you added on a boat.
Can't do go-karts on a boat.
You can do boat.
Stop trying.
Boat karts.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, like the underwater level.
Yeah.
But what are you leaning towards for your bucks?
What's that?
It's not up
what
to
are you
me
most
to
leaning
decide.
towards?
It's not up to me. It's not up for me to decide what happens at my bucks. That is for my groomsmen as a collective pack.
Oh yeah, that's what happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I don't decide anything.
What are you thinking about? Like which one are you leaning most towards?
Well, I want to do all of them. I actually had skydiving down. But there was a discussion that said there is a risk that Church could die. And we want to mitigate that risk. So we've decided it has to be on ground or on water.
Okay. I think you'll be fine if you skydive. Skydiving's not that bad. I've skydived.
Yeah.
Actually, Las Vegas. Let's put that down. Las Vegas.
If we can fly to the US.
Yeah, I don't think we'll go to the US.
I think let's start here in Australia, and then, when we're really hungover, we'll get on the aeroplane and over to Las Vegas.
Who needs Las Vegas when you got Glen Roy?
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, bad.
Oh,
but you should definitely motorboat hooker. That would be funny.
Oh yeah, that's definitely highlighted.
My dad's gonna have a great time.
Get some glitter. Hey, I'm organising this. This is going to be one of the.
I talked to my dad today when I took met him up for a walk to walk the dogs, and he just goes, "I'm like, oh, one rule is," I said, "There's two rules for the Bucks." You can't swim no water. There's one rule for the Bucks. Two rules for the Bucks. Like, one, I don't want to pay for anything. And it's like, he's like, yeah, that's fair. And then I go, and I said to my dad, and I said, you and Jess's dad, Mark, can't pay for anything either. It's got to be covered by the rest of the crew. And Dad's like, no. I'm putting in. I'm not buying shit alcohol. I'm buying the good stuff. So he's definitely wants
that's
to.
Good information to have.
Help. See, that's scary information.
My thinking around this is we're going to pay for like a bus driver. We're going to hire a bus, and we're going to pay for a bus driver for 24 hours, so they can pick us up, and drive us to the locations, so we don't and get us home, so we don't have to. Apart from you, Church, where you end up is not my problem. 6 a.m. the next day, I'm done. 6 a.m. the next day, I'm done. I'm out. I'm finished. Whatever train or aeroplane or boat you end up on, not my problem.
All right. Well, let's just hope it's not a boat. That's the one I would worry about the most, to be honest. Everything else I could sort of wing. I think a boat, that's where, I don't want to turn into a castaway sort of adventure at the end of this.
Yeah, it's like you and some prostitute, like, Wilson! And it's like,
Church, if it's anything...
It's one of our
If it's anything like this podcast, I'll have you at the wedding 1 minute before you need to get married.
Wilson is a lawn bowl.
And a fleshlight underneath. That was the hooker. Really cheaped out, boys. Real cheaped out.
Oh, you know what?
Well, speaking of hookers.
Economic time, I'll just put sex doll. Just because...
Why not? Well, speaking of hookers, ladies and gentlemen, we got Dan on the show for a very special reason. One, he wasn't doing anything, so we thought we might as well get him on the show. And two, we thought we've been doing Wanktober all of October, so we've done 2 episodes.
Does that mean you're wanking a lot? Or does it mean you're not wanking?
Yeah, no, that's NoFap November. So we're preparing for NoFap November. We're wanking as much as we possibly can, get it all out of our system. And we thought, what's sexier? Good for the prostate, it's important. what's more important? You can't always be watching pornography, but you can't always listen to podcasts. And we thought to ourselves, let's have a review as a group of men here of Porn Stars podcasts, because we did get told off back in the day by a porn star for reviewing her show. So we thought, hey, let's, instead of just saying that we're better than them, which we obviously are, let's just compare hers to other shows run by porn stars. Male, female. I couldn't find a male one so far, but I'll try my best. But right now what we've got is, I've said to Dan, come on the show, we're doing this. He said, absolutely. So, boys, we all listened to an episode of Bridgette B's podcast, ReadySexChat.
And I have to say, this is one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to. Out of all the podcasts that I listened to, this was up there.
Bro, wow, it was so hard to listen to. It was so difficult. It was like, bro, number one, a little backstory. I used to froth Bridgette B when I was 16, when I first started batting. And I was like, she's hot. And then I got sort of my taste changed, whatever. And I'm not really into it. I haven't seen a photo or jerked off to Bridgette B since I was a child. So it was kind of like revisiting all these emotions. Like, oh, Bridgette B, and
what?
She wrecked it with her shit narrating skills, bro. It was like a big budget movie. It had the lighting, it had good sound, but it just had no story, bro.
You know what I like about that? You said you used to wank to her. She actually says this during the show. She goes, how to flatter a lady. This is what the clip's called. And here we go.
Thank you for jerking off to me. That's always flattering to hear.
She said that during the show.
I rate that. I'm into. I think I would feel the same. If a woman was like, "I'm fucking blasted out to you," I'd be like, "That's nice." But there were so many quotes in that fucking podcast. I was like,
"Oh, yeah, there was a lot in there." Well, I'm going to start it off. Because I've got a whole bunch of clips on the board. Kieran's given me a bunch of clips. Dan, you've listened to the show, and you actually listened to 2 of the episodes.
I listened to 2 because I didn't realize that you had to listen to the specific episode. So I did extra homework.
Well, she starts off the show. This is the first clip that I've got. This is apparently this show here is charting.
Oh my gosh. Did you just hear that? Yep. ReadySexChat indeed has a home. Thanks to you guys for listening, for all your eye rolls. You got this humble little podcast of mine, not only charting weekly all over the world, and right here in this beautiful country I call home, good old US of A.
Okay, I have a lot of issues with this clip because on the site that I gave you guys to listen to this show, she has the same amount of subscribers that we do, that we have on SoundCloud. And every chart that I could find, from sex to comedy to every chart that I could find, Apple, Spotify, all this, could not find her on any chart. So if she's charting, we 100% are charting somewhere. Maybe it's Ukrainian news podcasts. I don't care where, but we're from the information I've got from Bridgette B, I can guarantee the podcast, we are also charting. We are on the same level. We're not punching up. We're not punching down. We are punching right.
Congratulations. We only do one take podcast.
We did it. 120 episodes.
As the CEO, this is now where I take the congratulations. You don't do that. That's below your pay grade. So thank you, everyone. We've done it. We're now charting. It's because of you guys. The listeners, thank you.
The episode that we listened to, it was the first time that her start of season 2, which is fine. But she got joined to a network, and apparently it's the best name ever.
I love the network's name, the Podcast Playground.
Yeah, she loves the network she's on. Yeah, you know what? Who else says they love the network they're on? Anyone that's on a network.
I just love how she loves the Podcast Playground. And I'm sure we've got the clips in a moment, but then rips on about how much she hated school and playgrounds.
Yeah,
we absolutely do.
That was the stupidest thing that she hated.
Okay.
Don't you hate it when you're
I'm
on a
gonna click it.
seesaw and someone calls you fat? It's like
All right.
relatable
Okay.
comedy. The fuck am I supposed to relate to that?
Dad, you used to work at a strip club, right?
Mm.
And there used to be stripper poles there. Can you relate to this in any way?
Besides, I'm sorry, but those fucking playgrounds were like no joke. Between like what was that called? Deadly monkey bars, right? Which I swear, if you are a good stripper now and your name is like Rocky Roads at the Spearmint Rhino in Dallas, Texas, you were that girl on the monkey bars in the playground.
I mean, like,
So if you
I
were
think
ever good
kind
at the monkey
of.
bars,
I love
if you
monkey
were
bars. I
ever,
go to monkey bars because I train biceps in the monkey bars. But like, at the strip club, the
you're
girls who
good
were
on the
good at
stripper pole.
pole, the girls who were good at pole at a strip club weren't generally. They're like not really strippers. They're more like acrobatical performance people who are doing stripping. Yeah, there was never like a stripper who's like, yeah, I'm really good at pole. I'm not. It's just like, I don't know. It's a weird. I think she's kind of right there because it's like a weird
It's all right.
genre.
All right.
I think
It's a
she's
weird
got
sort
some kind of grievance with what was her name again? In Dallas,
some
Texas.
Rocky Road or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rocky
It was
Road.
definitely a fight. Well, look, I don't think the monkey bars is as bad as the slides, apparently, because the slides have haunted her for the rest of her life.
The slides that I swear contributed to my fear of damn heights. Those things were scary as fuck.
Okay, have you ever been down a slide? Ever? Even a giant slide and gone, set of heights now. Like, you take little children down slides at the playground. There's no giant slide that you're going to go down, like, 10 feet or whatever it is. It's like this little round ones. Or I don't understand.
I don't think
But
she
this is about her
understands that,
network.
like, by saying stuff like this, it doesn't make you like it interesting. Like she's saying it like,
No.
look how I'm so every woman, like everyone relates to me. Cause it's like, bro, like it's a very silly thing to say. Like,
And another thing that happens in this show, and I hate this. Now, look, I'm going to say it now. We used to do this in our first couple of episodes. Kieran, we used to do this.
We
And that
stopped
is
after
putting
about
sound-
episode 10.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
You're about
yeah.
to know what I'm talking about now. Dan, in the first couple of episodes of our show, we used to record the show, and then I used to edit it, or Kieran used to edit it, and we used to put crappy little sound effects in the background
yeah.
as a joke, but tried to make them timed and this and that. She does it too, but she's like on a professional show, and obviously she's not editing this. There's someone is editing this for her. Here's my third clip here.
Remember when you went to school? Like, how much did you look forward to that bell ringing and your teacher just yelling,
Leaving the right
recess?
bell.
That's
The
not a
doorbell.
bell.
Yeah, bell. Ding
The
dong.
doorbell. She was homeschooled.
And yet she was still scared of the slide and the monkey bars at her own house. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how. Like, look, it's not good. It's not good. You definitely shouldn't do that. But there's a whole bunch of things in this show that she does that you should absolutely never do in a podcast, and this is one of them.
How good does that sound? What do you think this is? $1 million.
No, I'm into that. I'm on
We'll
that
work.
train.
Church,
ASMR, bro.
It's a different ASMR.
ASMR,
Church,
bro.
Yes,
can you
but
play my
got a
clip? Can you play my clip 7?
I can play your clip 7. 1 second.
All right. And last question, because again, this podcast can go on for hours.
Yeah, it really. I don't think it could have, because she definitely didn't have enough material for
Bro.
hours of content.
The podcast was half an hour. The other one I listened to was 15 minutes.
We've already done 45 minutes, and she didn't even have over 2 shows to cover anything. But look, Dan,
Well, when you
I'll
take
cut
out
all this-
the rattling of the drinking, that takes up a fair amount of time of the podcast.
Oh, but you know what? Taking up time in the podcast. Talk about taking up time in the podcast. She has as for her show, like a radio show would, inside her podcast.
Be sure to rate, review, and most importantly, subscribe wherever you pod. Bridgette B, Ready, Sex, Chat.
Like, who's going to start the podcast in the middle of the show and go, what podcast am I listening to? And then the ad comes, ReadySexChat, my mistake.
Yeah,
Have you ever done that to a show? I don't understand why people are doing this.
I also don't really understand who she thinks is following her, because the guys who are
Why they're following her.
well, look, no, the thing is, like, I understand, like, if you think she's hot and you like jerking off to Bridgette B, you follow her because you're like, oh, she's hot or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
she answers the questions as if it's like people who've never watched porn. She's like, well,
Yeah.
in porn, it's like, bro, like, what do you think I'm here? I'm not listening to this because you're like an empowered Latino woman with a lot to say. I'm listening to this because I've seen the inside of your body. That's why. You know what I mean? Like,
You've spread yourself so wide, we've seen right through you. Like, but you know what? She hasn't been in a lot of porn recently because she's been very busy.
I don't know why these bitches talk. All they do is suck dick for a living. I'm like, again, it's when? Finally, after 7 months. I had some this month. But for the most part, I hate to burst your bubbles, ladies and gentlemen. I do a lot more than just that. So
she goes on, she goes, I have a bunch of meetings to go to and I talk to people, but she has been busy. She's on the cover of a magazine at the moment, or when that episode came out. It was like the Adult Video Network premium magazine. And she was like on the front cover.
AVN mag.
The AVN mag, that's it. And she says something that no one in their right mind would ever do. So if you buy an AVN mag, I guarantee you're putting that, like, when you're finished with it, who buys magazines anymore? But nonetheless, you buy the magazine because you really love Bridgette B. You finish with it, and you know where you leave it? You leave it on your coffee table.
there's going to be a link in the ReadySexChat Instagram for you to check out if you want to go see it. But I recommend that you actually get it for yourself, like for your coffee table.
Oh, yes.
No, there's a really funny part in the thing where she was talking about. She was like, you you can't really beat. Like, she's talking about movies or something. She's like, oh yeah, Instagram, Facebook, but you can't really beat holding the firm pages. And in my head, I'm like, oh, she could talk about a book. And she's like, oh, the Chris magazine. It's like, bro, magazine and Instagram are the same type of trash, you fucking idiot. Why are you trying to make it seem like magazines like this holy, beautiful,
Oh, okay. So this Kieran, if you've got any clips, just let me know and I'll punch them in. But the whole purpose of the show, like you said before, Dan, was to answer questions sent to her by her fans on her various social media platforms. Here's the introduction to that.
I don't know if you remember, but last season I asked you to always feel free to ask questions on the ReadySexChat Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So she's asking. She wants people to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you play my clip 4?
Absolutely.
I'm going to use your first name and your city for reference to protect you from your wife or your husband or your boss, because we don't want people finding out that you are indeed listening to a porn star.
Okay. I don't think there's any problem listening to a porn star, but if you want to protect them, don't use their first name and don't tell the people what city they come from.
Yeah, just don't use their question, bruh. This is like Anonymous 4.
Yeah. I got a question. It's from Dan, and that's it. You just don't have to say anything else. And Dan asked this. It's very simple, very simple. But before she even answers the question, so this is like out of like, what is it, like a 30-minute episode, like you said, Dan. 15 minutes of it is the build-up to the questions.
And there was like 2 questions.
And this is just part of it. There was like 2 questions.
There was 2 questions.
Build up to that. Here we go. This is a question and an answer. It's a bit of a long.
The typical question of, "Hey Bridgette, how much is it for the night?" it's still very prevalent, along with, so, you're going to meet me for drinks. I'm like, where on fuck screen earth am I going to meet you for a drink? Everything's closed. And the places that are open, I have to go in with a mask. You think I'm going to go in and fuck up my makeup before I see you? I don't think so. And this is something that they're not very conscious of. They're not thinking that I have my makeup on under my mask. So what I have to do before a date is I have to make sure he's waiting for me inside the restaurant. I have to put the mask on so I can walk through the restaurant, because if that makes sense, I have to go to the bathroom first, make sure the makeup is intact, and just ever so slightly put the mask on, run to my seat, and then take the mask off. That's how this shit has to work. It's not conducive to first dates, second dates, or even third dates. So,
okay. So she was saying that she gets questions like, "Hey, Bridget, how much is it to have sex with you for one night?" Right? I thought, I don't know if the porn star prostitute thing, I don't know if similar to the same. I don't know if she offers that service. But let's put that to a side. What
But
she's
she
saying
doesn't.
is,
Why isn't she screening her questions before she comes onto the podcast?
And also,
Why
I
isn't she
like
going?
the way, like, she, like,
so her
some guy
complaint
is
is that
asking her, "Do you want to go on a date?" And her reason
no.
is why it's a bad
She's
idea
asking
is
how
'cause I
much
gotta
is
wear a
it
mask.
for. Yeah,
So-
no. The question isn't how much is it for a date? Is how much is it to have sex with you?
Yeah,
And she's
bad.
like, well, first of all, you've got to be in the restaurant first. And when I get there, I'm going straight to the bathroom to fix my makeup and then put the mask back on. And this can't be a first, second, or third date. No. He's just asking how much is it to bang you for one night. That's all he's asking.
Why do you have to
in
go to
that
the
question.
restaurant? Just meet me at my house, bro. You know what I mean?
At a restaurant. At a motel. You can do, but you know what we need before we answer questions? We need some music.
stay tuned.
So we're going to go into the bit now about the questions guys asked her. Is that all right, everybody?
Let's do it.
Yeah, and I think we've got the same
Yeah,
clip
good.
here, which is my clip
we go.
5.
Oh, wait. Before we do that, I was going to play the music, the transition
Oh.
music into the questions that we'll ask Bridgette B.
Stay tuned.
Oh, that's enough of that. Kieran, you got a clip for us about the questions that she gets asked on a daily basis.
I think, clip 5. It's first part of the question.
There we go.
My first one is from Ramos from Aurora, Illinois, which I'm going to assume is kind of near Chicago, maybe, which is one of my most favorite cities. It's
Hang on. Did you just say Illinois?
Yeah,
Instead of Illinois?
yeah.
Can we go back?
Doom is kind of near Chicago, maybe, which is one. My first one is from Ramos from Aurora, Illinois, which I'm going to assume is kind of near Chicago, maybe, which is one of my most favorite cities. It's actually from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I've seen that movie 20 times. He sent me a DM on my Twitter, and it says, "Bridget, I don't understand why you don't consider shooting porn cheating when any of you guys are in a relationship. Seriously, it's the dumbest shit I've heard. Did I miss something?"
That is a dumb question, though.
Okay,
Kieran?
so I heard that
I think
question.
it's valid.
I thought that was that valid. You do porn. Is it cheating
Such a
with someone else?
basic question, though.
It is, though.
look,
It is. But
I know,
I think
but
that's why she... No, Kieran, you said
Look, when
she
you have a
doesn't submit
basic
her
podcast,
questions.
when you have a basic podcast, you
Yeah.
have basic questions.
Yes.
That's why I think she screened this one. I think she screened this one because she thought, I have an answer for this.
Yeah.
And I her answer is fucking hilarious.
Her answer is the most convoluted thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
Because I thought you would have thought about it a little bit before you come on to your podcast and actually give your answer. Let's listen to her answer.
What clip do you got there?
Clip
for me?
6. Clip 6.
Clip 6. All right, here we go. Clip 6.
I'm going to put this in very short terms. cheating, it becomes the act of extra. You know what I mean? For many of us, and I'm going to speak for myself, but for many of us in the industry, the act of two genitals on their own does not induce or encompass a relationship. Meaning that just because a penis enters a vagina or a vagina is on another vagina, whatever, does not necessarily mean you are in a relationship. It just means you are having fun and doing your job. So my moral compass doesn't necessarily be the same as everyone else's. So if said actor has a partner who met them as a porn star, is completely infatuated with the idea of fucking one, now develops feelings and wants the performer to quit, trust me, happens all the time. I got into it in season 1. To me, I don't cross the boundaries ever. So being either, whether I'm single or...
All right, that was just really hard to follow her thought there.
Yeah. What have you
taken? I go on set, I do what I do for work, the camera cuts, and I go home. There's no texting afterwards, romantically. There's no banging in the bathroom. There's no mutual, I'm going to see you later tonight. It is what it is. You keep it professional, you keep it moving. But yes, I am also very lucky to have a career that I love, that it's fun, it's yummy. I have great people around me, and I'm getting paid for it. In my bio on my Instagram at this is Bridgette B, it says, don't hate the game, learn how to play it better.
All right. You obviously got some stuff to talk about here, Kieran.
So I guess if you're dating a porn star, they're going to do porn, right?
Mm.
And you know that they're doing porn. So it's clearly not cheating. But what I got from that is, but it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship. You can have sex with someone else.
Okay,
But
I pulled out the exact same. Yes.
Yeah, you can have sex with someone else as long as you don't text or do anything else. That's not cheating. That's just having fun. And that's okay.
I got the exact same thing. From what I understand, it's like, okay, you can touch genitals, you can do this and that, but as long as you're not wanting a relationship with that other person, it's okay. So,
and this is very good. This is very good clarity, because now I've got this information. When we take you on your bucks, I know that this is not cheating. So just don't worry. Church will not cheat.
Approved. Dan, you have a different opinion on this?
I think I have the same opinion, but I think it's like the sex worker argument is that when you are a sex worker, you can fuck people without it being an emotional thing. Therefore, you can't. Like, if I was to have sex with someone naturally, I would be like a little bit. Yeah. But obviously, Bridgette B, having had sex with so many people, she can sort of switch off that side and just fuck someone while still maintaining a professional relationship with someone else, So I get that. But the question is, because I've dated strippers before, where it's like, how do you date a stripper, bro? And it's just, to me, it's like, yeah, bro, but like, it's like you can do some sort of job like that without it being a cheat. You know what I mean? Like, I think that someone like me now, I couldn't date a stripper again, and I think a lot of people wouldn't date a sex worker or a stripper. I wouldn't date a porn star. I say that now, but like, whatever. But like, hypothetically, I don't know.
Your career's young.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen after you get on the gala?
That's right.
Bro, you don't know what happens on that gala, Daddy.
Tom Gleason is swimming in porn star pussy.
I want you to be hosting the Logies in a couple of years.
I would take that job for free. I'd do it for the fucking eyes, bro. The arias.
Oh, I'd get on. I'd finally watch them. Oh, right. No, you're right. You've gotten a whole bunch of my clips, but there was one thing she says in here that, like,
I just wanted coherence. That's all I wanted. I just wanted coherence.
I don't think it's going to happen, but you know what? When you talk about these sort of topics, I always find that the truth actually comes out in very subtle ways. And this took me a while to listen to and go through it all. But this clip here absolutely proves that whatever she's saying, she doesn't really believe. Here we go.
Isn't that cheating? Aren't you just cheating on your boyfriend all the time, or on your, my then husband?
So did you hear that one? The very subtle things you put in there.
My then
husband.
My then husband. So obviously she's been through this rigmarole before. And it obviously hasn't worked, but she needs to hold these beliefs or this idea in her head to live with what she's doing. That's what the vibe I got from that. Because if you really believed it, you wouldn't say, "Oh, then husband," or you would just say your partner or girlfriend and move on with the sentence. I think this is a little glimpse into the actual mind of the actual, conscious part of her brain going, "You actually need to say this." Little accident that probably should have been clipped out by her editor, but
He was
wasn't.
busy putting the ding effect in.
Yeah, should have. Well, speaking of things, before we continue on, because there's definitely another question that Kieran, I thought you would have gained a lot of information from, but she does something on this show. One, she doesn't use a pop filter. Like, this is a pop filter. This helps clear up all the sounds. A lot nicer. And also, the other thing she does is that she breathes heavily into the microphone. And I don't know if it's meant to be like a sexual kind of thing, but if you put it all together back to back like I have in this clip, it's the worst thing you've ever heard in your life.
Delicate. That would.
Anyone else turned on?
Yes.
Oh,
You should be editing those parts out. Like we edit those
I'm
parts
into it.
out.
I'm into it. No, I think they have friends that flop that shit, bro. They
I'm
love
going
it.
to send you that clip.
There's a lot of people who watch this, like us, like, oh, I want to see what this porn star's saying. And there's a lot of people saying, I want to hear her toes move in her socks. You know what I mean? So I think that weird,
foot fetish people are fucked. That shouldn't even be a real thing there.
I got to introduce you to my
that's
mate
why
Hugh.
OnlyFans started. Church, can you play my clip 8?
Let me play your clip 8. This is I think it's one of your last clips that you have. I've got a whole bunch of others. We've got a whole bunch to go to, but clip 8. Here we go.
This is where everything goes downhill, ladies and gentlemen. God. Okay, she says that she had a roommate. She had a threesome with a roommate, and now she's fucked.
That was my favorite part of the podcast. This is where everything goes downhill, and then it was just blah, 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 which was just fucking edited out.
But that was the question that she got asked. Like, a girl called in, a message in about having sex with the roommate who's in a relationship, and the advice was just to get naked and walk around the house. Like, that's
his wife was like completely polarized. That poor girl who asked her the question.
Church, can you play my clip 3? Just following on from clip 8, play my clip 3.
Let me play you clip 3 here. Let me have a look here. Clip 3.
I was on set, but that was like maybe 5 out of that was. Why can't I talk today? Maybe I'm getting wasted. I was on set for 5 hours out of the 2 weeks. So
remember when she said she was busy, like doing other things, and then she's like, I was on set for 5 hours over 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks. Like, that's 2.5 hours a week. That's not even considered a casual.
It's like 20 minutes a day.
I do more work on the podcast than she does in 2 weeks on set.
I spent more time listening to her fucking podcast than she put into her own career.
All right. Well, look, she gets asked another question. There's only 3 questions this whole show, but the second question, the first question was about being a porn star in relationships, and the third question was about that threesome, which was a pretty boring answer and questions. But the second question was my favorite. It's my absolute favorite question that was asked
this
there.
fucking guy,
yeah.
So the basic premise is, I think I got a clip here.
What dates would I like a guy to plan for me as we're getting back into the dating era?
Okay, so that was the question. Like, if I was going to go on a date with you or another girl, what sort of dating ideas would get the juices flowing into leading into the sexy times in the bedroom, you know?
But on a
And
budget.
I thought, but on a budget. And I'm like, that's a great question. Like, you know, we're in lockdown. She might have a great idea or something that's helped her.
And it's
She's
obviously
worked
the
into the sex-
guy. The guy's obviously poor. The guy's obviously like, I want to get
Yeah.
a beautiful girl. How do I, with a low income, get one?
Exactly. And that's a great question. And you know what? Great question for her to answer. Good selection. And I would have gone, you know what? Let me just do a bit of research, what I would like. I like expensive things, but maybe there's a cheaper version. And she sort of does
Exactly.
a cheaper version of what she would like. Here's my clip.
One of them is to turn your living room into an indoor picnic.
Okay. So she's, instead of going to like the sexy book of things like to romanticize a woman, this and that, she's gone to the what to do with when there's wet weather with children book of things and gone, indoor picnic. That'll save some time. And there's no way in hell look, I've been with my lovely fiance for a long time, and I thought to myself, let me just ask her, hey babe, would you like to do an indoor picnic? And the scowl on her face that I got was ridiculous. So I guarantee that will not work for any woman, no matter how much effort that you plan in advance. So then she goes from, we're going to have an indoor picnic, we're up to date number 2. Right? And the date number 2, this is the idea.
Another good one, and it's something that has been brought up recently because of being stuck at home, is to learning a new skill together.
Okay. So,
and that is a brilliant idea.
Awesome. If you learn a skill together, you sort of go, oh, how are you coping? Like, you know, are you learning any more? You sort of work together. It's like, you know, exercising together or like something like exercising together. Big one.
Theoretically, it makes sense.
It's perfect for the guy.
Idea.
It's perfect for the guy because you don't actually have to fucking pick the skill. She comes up with the skill, and you just figure out how to do it, and everything's on YouTube.
Right. Exactly right. Perfect. But the one thing she wants to do is so far left field. I was like, is this real?
One of the things on my bucket list is learning how to go quail hunting.
Do you know how expensive that is too, you fucking malaka? And also, like, imagine like me walking down the street and I see like a beautiful girl, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, like I just thought you were really pretty," and like I love to say hi. She's like, "Hey, cool. Do you want to go out sometime?" "Yeah, fucking, let's go quail hunting. Like, do you want to? I've got a couple of guns."
You get your hunter's cap on.
She would be like,
rifle.
Which girl is gonna say yes? Which girl's gonna be like, I met this guy, and we're going quail hunting. It's gonna be great. Hopefully he doesn't shoot me.
I mean, but the second date doesn't continue from there because she understands that right now you can't go quail hunting because of COVID, and you also might not know how to hunt quails.
Is to, if you can't teach me how to hunt, maybe you can go to the market, grab some quail eggs and anything associated with quail, and maybe we put on a YouTube on the big screen TV, and then we learn how to cook it. But you also are getting me ready for, in future dates, to go quail hunting.
And this is it. This was my favorite clip of the whole fucking show because I'm like, okay.
Hey, babe, where are you going? I'm going to the shop to get some quail-related products. What the fuck is a quail-related product? Quail spread?
Baby, if I got a thing for you tonight, we are dining. Mwah! Quail eggs.
Quail eggs.
Get ready for that fucker. Quail in the oven. And not only that, we're going to learn how to cook them via YouTube.
And this is all preparation because I'm just quailing you up for the future. Because from here, it's just quail, quail, quail. We're starting at quail eggs. We're going to be finished. You're going to be a quail.
Look, we're starting on the quail eggs cooking, and we're going to finish hunting the shit out of them. They're going to go extinct by the time we're engaged.
What's the guy got to do with
Okay.
this information?
I don't know. None of this
I
information is
should do
helpful.
what I should do if I've got like a little bit less money than usual. I want to take a girl out, and I should take her to the shops and get some quail-related product and gear her up for a future of quailing together.
I think it's just cut your losses early and move on.
You know what, guys? You know what this is?
I think that's a pretty good panty dropper.
I've been playing that clip around the house. It's so good. All right, and she does go. You know what? You go from a picnic inside your house because you want to trap them in the house. Firstly, like when the first day you want to trap the woman in the house with food, and then secondly you want to call them back with the quail eggs, and you cook up the quail eggs while you're watching the TV in your house. And the third time you call them back and baby, I've got a third date for you. It's ready to go.
Put this together. An adults only game night for 2. There is not a single game you can't turn into some kinky shit. Between strip Jenga, strip twister, naked charades. If you guys aren't into second base by like the second game, trust me, it's not her. It's you.
Okay. Never try to play Naked Monopoly. The worst idea. Naked Cluedo also doesn't work.
Yeah, bad. It always ends in go to jail for.
Yeah, go to jail. That's right. Yeah. You and your quail eggs go the fuck to jail. Wrap up your picnic blanket as well.
But I like the way she goes. If you haven't made it to second base after the second time, it's like, bro, like that's what second means. Second base. I don't know. I get
second
pissed off
base.
by
I
grammar.
had to remember what the bases were. And naked second base is what, touching tits and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? I don't even know.
Second base is like sucking dick.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, like
things have changed since I was
sucking dick. And third base is like pumping.
Yeah.
But there's new ones. There's new ones. Third base
shortstop or mid.
No, third base now is going Instagram public or Facebook public. There's like the millennial ones. Yeah, they switched them up.
Can we talk about how she pronounces the word quail? Yeah, it was quail for a bit. Quail. It was like quail with an H in it, like from the what's it called? Family Guy when Stewie's like saying cool hip.
Cool.
But it's quail.
Quail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So
I've only got one more clip on.
She doesn't want to. You can't take her out to a restaurant because she's got all her makeup to deal with.
No,
and the mask.
That's right. That's what I said.
Yeah, so it's a picnic indoors with quails that you've probably gone out and hunted, where you still had to wear your face mask and deal with all the makeup issue as well.
Mm.
Yes. No, you're outside, so maybe it's okay. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are at all. And the third one is where you get out you go, hey baby, come on over, dinner time, and you pull out the Jenga and you go, we're gonna get naked Jenga going after we eat these quail eggs for the second time in a row.
After I've loosened you up with some quail, I'm gonna fuck you.
You know what?
Monopoly
Quail
board.
isn't like. You know what? If she said like oysters or something like that, oysters are meant to be like an aphrodisiac, right?
Mm.
All the research that I did, which is very little, quail is not an aphrodisiac whatsoever. Yeah. This is like a rarity bird that only subtle people like. It's not like we're going to go
also
out
incredibly expensive, which is
super expensive.
Goes
which
against
doesn't help.
IR.
Which doesn't help the person who's on a poor budget.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Do you think there's going to be much a taste difference between a quail egg and a regular chicken egg?
I eat quail a lot actually because every Christmas we have quail. My mum cooks quail. We have quail egg. Okay. I love quail. I love quail related products, but they are expensive, and it's like all she's trying to tell. Like this is how fucking retarded she is. This guy asked her. She's like, hey, like I'm trying to, go out with a budget, and all she was, I like quail, I like quail, I like quail, I like quail. Like that's all she did. She didn't consider him at all. She just
No,
wanted
she's
to
just
talk
going.
about
She's just going. I love expensive shit, and if you don't have the fucking budget, then you can't come near me.
Yeah, exactly. And
I was very impressed at all their help. I've only got one more clip on the board here, I think. Let me have a look here. Yeah, last clip, yeah.
Adult game night can be so much fun. And in adult game night is also, you can mix in picnic.
So that's exactly what I said. Have a naked picnic with a naked game zone, so you can be eating naked with quail, and then move straight into the board games, and potentially that'll get you to second base.
if you're cheap, that's
If you're cheap, that's right. You got to buy all the board games, go to the picnic, invite her over, make sure your makeup is fine underneath that mask, and from there you might get to second base, which apparently is anal now. That's what you said, right? I can't remember. That's
Yeah.
what, nonetheless, it's number 2. It's in the stink. So it's fine. That's fine. But that's all the clips. I think that's all the clips that I got. Oh no, I think I've got one more here. Oh, just more sound. Oh no, this was one of my favorite clips.
And from one of my first episodes is that I am a traditional woman in a modern world with an extraordinary career.
Okay, being a porn star, there's nothing traditional about being a porn star. You're not a traditional woman. A traditional woman is a housewife. That's what people think of traditional woman. No one thinks traditional woman. Porn star.
She's
Well,
just a
maybe-
more modern day woman.
Modern
Maybe-
day woman, yeah. The only
She's working 5 hours a fortnight. She's got a podcast, and she's talking about quail eggs. She's not a traditional anything.
No. And she
Well-
only had dick in her for like once in 7 months or whatever
Can you play?
that was.
Can you play my clip 2, please?
I can absolutely play your clip too. Let me have a look here.
Because this just says
sorry.
that she's a traditional woman.
Oh, yeah, look here. It's clip number 2, was it?
Yeah.
Number 2. All right.
I don't know why these bitches talk. All they do is suck dick for a living. I'm like,
Well, I guess traditional bitches suck dick for a living. I don't know.
Hey, it was the oldest profession.
It is the oldest profession. It is the oldest profession. I've seen
Prostitution.
the paintings at Pompeii of the whorehouse. That was the only building that survived. That's real.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a real thing. It's like this is the anal room. This is the doggy style room. It's a very interesting profession. But I probably wouldn't say that a well off Roman's wife would be a prostitute. I would just going to assume they might be the slaves.
Or the Gumars.
The Gumars.
I've
Isn't that
recently
Daddy
watched.
from Mario?
No, I finished watching The Sopranos.
That's a
You know, the
Goombas.
lady friends, the special lady friends.
Mm.
You know, Friday nights is the girlfriends, Saturday nights is the wives. You have no idea what I'm
We
talking
don't talk
about.
about
I've got no
that.
clue what you're talking about.
We as the Italian in the group.
Are there any
we
other
keep that
good porn stars who do podcasts? Does Layla Starr have one? I froth Layla Starr, bro.
I don't know if we Layla started, but if she does have one, we can get you back in to review it.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Please
This
do.
has
Please do.
been
Well, we don't
too
want-
much fun.
Nah, she doesn't
Yeah,
have
it
one.
has. Well, Kieran, the important
Yes.
thing is, do you think this is better than? Is this better than the podcast we listened to last week? Is this better than series podcast that we listened to? And is this better than our show?
Hey, as the CEO here, I just want to thank all our listeners for tuning in because it's been fantastic.
For this ranked podcast.
Yeah. That we are now global, and we are up
yeah,
there.
boy, be global. Right next to Joe Rogan on Spotify, right? That's where we are. Number 1, Joe Rogan. Number 2, Bridgette B. And number 3, we
only do one take podcast. It's the only
I don't know how
podcast
we
that
do
is
it.
a real shit show.
As you can hear from the introduction anyway. Dan, thank you so much for being on this show. This was an absolute blast to listen to Porn
Always,
Stars
thank you for
podcast
having
with
me,
you
as
and
usual.
talking about this and that. We can't wait. Let us know when your podcast is out so we can send that around as well. That'd be awesome
Yeah,
once
fuck
that
yeah.
runs up. But
And we're looking
Cannot
forward
wait.
to the TV show Strippers.
Fuck yeah,
Yes.
bro. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I posted a video an hour ago, so Give it a
Oh,
sigh.
awesome. Kieran, thank you so much for another fantastic show.
Ah, no worries. Glad my audio was working when I turned up.
Me too. And for all your wanking needs, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you'd like to send us some hate mail, some death threats, or a rant because we said that your podcast stinks, record it on your show, record it on your phone and email us at weonlydo1takepodcast@gmail.com. Boys, thank you so much for another very exciting episode of the We Only Do One Take podcast.
And we'll see you next Thursday.
See you later,
Yeah.
For
fellas.
those that are listening to the audio recording. See you, Dan.
All right, see you guys. All right, bye.
There we go.
I'll try to look for it. I'm going to go hunt some quails. I'm going to go hunt some quails, I think, Kieran. I think I know what you want. Did that help you? Because I know that, you're a single man. Did that help you at all in the dating world?
Oh, look, now I know picnic and quails. Indoor picnic
And
quails. I've got it.
Naked Jenga. That's number.
Yeah,
that's
naked Jenga. Yeah. Or naked Twister.
Naked Twister. I think that's the one. All right. All right, boys,
Beautiful.
ladies and gentlemen.
See ya, YouTube, Facebook world. We'll see you next week.